How do you do? It is I, Lord Pemberton III, and today I wanted to talk about something that I feel that it is bothering me a lot. So for context, I live in Oxfordshire. I'm not going to say where for obvious reasons, but I live in Oxfordshire, and I grew up as a child in Oxford, starting from 5 years old when I moved to England for the first time. And ever since then, I fell in love with the city. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but there's an old world charm that kind of is exhumed from the city itself. It's very much, I feel, very unique. I've been to many places in the world, and nothing really gets to the kind of sort of this old sort of charm that Oxford kind of gives out. And for the past couple of years, I would say for the past decade, a lot of people in the city council and builders and everything like that are trying to ruin it, and it is very upsetting. Because I grew up in it, and although it's not great, it's not perfect all the time, but remove that kind of, that natural stone, the old architecture, the Gothic architecture, everything about it, you don't have the same magic anymore. And I really dislike a lot of modern architecture. Find that all of the modern stuff is very ugly, weird shapes, and it's a complete eyesore in the city. This to me is not alright. They're taking away so much from the city that I grew up in and I love. I know. Like eventually, it will, of course, go, but hopefully by then they at least retain some of that magic. Eventually, you know. There's also they're filling it with the shops that are so boring and dull. Growing up, I used to have there used to be a Disney shop in the old Westgate before they tore it down and built the new Westgate, which is completely horrible in my opinion because of its open design, and especially I used to work in the Westgate when I was younger, and every time it snowed in, it was cold and there was no place to get warm. But the old one was enclosed, and it had so many great shops. I used to go down to the Disney shop, and we would get some stuff. And they used to have a TV, and you used to be able to watch Disney shows on the TV, and that was really great. Used to have also this place called Game Station, and that was absolutely fantastic. And like, not me, but like my cousins used to go to Build-A-Bear workshops when they were younger, and used to actually build the bears, and you got to do stuff. Now every shop it's so boring and dull. But I remember also having an arcade as well. Not a little arcade. There's stuff to do. That's the thing, and there's nothing to do now besides go in and perhaps talk to some people if you want to, but not a whole lot of people do that. I think the core of the message is, if you feel like that, you have, if you feel like your city is kind of being sort of ruined bit by bit, I think eventually we will need to kind of say no and try to do our best to fill in the gaps uh, where we where that magic is being missed. And hopefully eventually some people will put in that magic, but so far it's slowly being turned away from Oxford anyway. But it's always going to be like that because of its very profitable business side, because it's a big tourist destination, and people want, of course, to go to Oxford University all the time. And this kind of puts in, much more emphasis on, of course, for students, and that's good. I'm not saying anything, that they shouldn't be building stuff like hotels and um, accommodations for students. I'm not saying that, but also people also want to live there. People like me who wish to kind of stay in Oxford for hopefully the remainder of their life. I'll be honest, but they're not doing that. It's really just for tourism and uh, students. And it's kind of a shame because I used to always love going to town when I was younger. Now it's a bit painful, but sometimes I do like to go to the more more of the untouched areas of Oxford. So, that's my little rant. Please bring back the magic to Oxford, and please put in more interesting shops and stop building these horrific abominations of buildings that look like you just cobbled them out of Play-Doh. You just try to get like some weird shape molds, and you just slapped it onto some Play-Doh. Stop that. Stop. Just stop. All right, that's my little rant.